American Key Supply presents the first in-depth tutorial to help you be successful in the field when picking and then decoding locks with Lishi 2-in-1 picks and decoders. Our resident expert with Lishi tools, Maher Eid, finally breaks it down so you can gain proficiency and confidence. Here we go.
General tips. Number 1. Learn a little about your lock first. Find out before getting on site what kind of lock you'll be working on and which tool you'll need. Also, if the lock is missing any wafers in any positions and if the lock decodes in the same direction as it was picked. The best way to find this information is by looking in the new Lishi 2-in-1 user guide by Tony Audsley. Number 2. Practice. Increase your confidence by successfully picking and decoding a few locks before doing it in the field with customers staring over your shoulder. Go to your local junkyard and see if you can find some door locks that will help you practice. VW's HU66, BMW's 2-track HU92, BMW's 4-track HU58 are some that are particularly useful for practicing for the real world. Also, the Lishi training vise is very helpful for practicing on any kind of lock. Number 3. Keep track of what you're doing. Try to remember which wafer picked in which direction. This is important information to remember when it's time to decode the lock. Number 4. Use only genuine Lishi tools. There are many imitators, and although they may look identical, they break easily and are not accurate, making picking and decoding more difficult. Purchase your Lishi tools only from actual Lishi distributors in your country. Steps and rules for picking. All locks follow these same basic rules while picking. Number 1. Insert the tool into the lock. Pull the slide back before inserting. Move the slide all the way back and center before inserting into the lock. Make sure the tool is fully inserted. If you are not feeling any spring resistance for positions in either direction, or if both sides are blocked, chances are your tool is just not pushed in all the way. Two, determine which wafers are on which side. Cycle through the positions without any turning tension to see where the spring back is felt. If you don't feel any spring back, that's probably the wrong direction. Number 3. Turn towards either direction. Like a residential lock, picking can be done in either direction, but one direction will always be easier than the other. If you find picking is difficult, try changing directions. Number 4. If it springs one depth, it's picked. Leave it alone. Springing back just one depth is how you know you've picked this wafer. Be gentle. If you push these too far, it will become overpicked and you will have to start all over. Number 5. If you can push it all the way down and feel it springs all depths, skip it and come back to it later. Number 6. If it stops and you feel no spring, push gently until it clicks past and becomes picked. If it's difficult to push, do not force it. Try releasing tension slowly until it clicks. Number 7. Keep going through each position until all wafers are picked. Even for positions that you determined were already picked, keep trying them again each time until the plug turns. Number 8. In most cases, you will need to add more turning pressure as each position becomes picked.
Alright. So the first step after getting into lock, you want to make sure you kind of have a general idea of where all the wafers are. So with no tension, you want to just get a feel for where everything is. So 8 is going to be up, there's nothing down. 7 is going to be up, nothing down. 6, nothing up. Springs down. 5, nothing up. 5's down. 4 is up. 3 is up. 2 is down. 1 is down. So we know 7, 8 are going to be up. 5, 6 down. 4 and 3 are going to be up. 2 and 1 are going to be down. So apply a little bit of turning pressure and just very gently start picking. That one's very stiff, so pick it until it bounces. When it bounces one depth like this, you know it's picked. So you go on to the next one. 7's going to be up. 7's picked. 6 is down. It springs the full depth, so come back to it later. 5, very gently you can see it's already picked, so it must be a very high depth. Just leave it alone, don't touch it. 4, ooh, this one might have to come back and check on it later. 3, stiff, pick it, and now it springs the full depth, so come back to it later. 2, a little stiff but picked over. Now 1 is very stiff. This is where a lot of people break their tools. To get 1 to pick, you want to let go a little bit of tension here until it picks. Now it's picked. Probably want to check on that one later too, so go through it all again. 8's picked. 7's picked. And each time you pick, you want to add just a little bit more turning pressure. 6, still nothing, come back later. 5 is still picked. 4 is still picked. 3 is very stiff, come back to it later now. 2, picked, a little bit more turning pressure. 1, still picked. 8, picked. 7 is now picked. 6, picked, a little bit more turning pressure. 5, still picked. 4 is picked. 3, stiff. 2, stiff. Now picked. 1 is picked. So now it should be only 1 holding it away from turning. Oh. There it is. Now it's picked.
Rules for decoding. Number 1. Refer to the Lishi 2-in-1 user guide by Tony Audsley to determine if decoding is done in the same or opposite direction as picking the lock. In the HU66 locks, for example, if you pick the wafer by pushing upwards, you would decode that wafer by pushing downwards in the opposite direction. Number 2. Push until it stops and take a reading. It does not require heavy pressure to find your depths. Yes, if you push hard enough, you can make it read deeper, but that's a wrong reading.
And so now you want to decode, and for the HU66 we picked 8 and 7 up, and how we know that there's a little springing, but you want to decode down, and so without any pressure on it you can see it's about a 3. So then go to 7. 7 was picked up, so we decode down, and it is a 2. 6 was picked down, so we decode up, and it looks like a 2. 5 was picked down, so we decode up, and it looks like a 3. Actually 4. 4 was picked up, we decode down, and it is dead on 3. 3 was picked up, decode down, it is a 1. 2 was picked down, decode up, it's a 1. 1 was picked down, decode up, it's a 3.
Things to be careful of. Number 1. Do not ever force a tool. It should not take much pressure to pick each position. Too much force will break the tip of your tool, and the tips are not replaceable. Not only will pushing too hard break your tool, but you won't be able to make any money from your customer. Be gentle with your tool. Number 2. Do not push too hard while decoding the lock, or you will bend the tip of the slide. Number 3. When removing the tool from the lock, go slowly and be careful. Make sure the slide is centered in the keyway before pulling out. It's very easy to break the tip of the slide if you are not careful.